So I'm going to say hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today for this introduction to aDoddle, how you can use it and how you can add a profile to it and make the most of it for you and your organisation. So yeah, welcome. And so I'm Jackie. I'm the founder of If Everyone Cares, that is the community interest company that runs aDoddle. And actually, just to let you know, all of our team are volunteers, just so that you know that. So we're not making money out of aDoddle. Let's make that really clear. But we have won awards for it, which I'm really proud of. And then I've got Andy here, who is my support to help me to be able to do this. And he's an absolute gem and keeps me on track. And if I get nervous or panic attacky, he also tells me to breathe, which is fantastic. Thank you very much. And then we've got Dan, who some of you I'm sure will know. And I'm actually going to let Dan introduce himself now and welcome you from his perspective.
Thank you, Jackie. Morning, everyone. I think I know everyone who we invited to this, but if I don't, I'm Dan. I'm a community organizer with Starting Point, which is a social enterprise based on Woodley Precinct. I think, like in my message when I was advertising this event, you know, we've all had discussions the last few months, and it's more important than ever that as we come out of the pandemic, we're all on the same page and working together, and we know what we're all up to. So I hope you find this useful, and I can't wait for us to start using aDoddle across Woodley and Bredbury.
Fantastic. Thanks ever so much. I'm going to end the poll, and while Andy sort of gets that so he can tell me the results in a minute, I'm going to give you a little bit of housekeeping for the event, just so that you know. So this event is being recorded. Nobody can see any comments that you put or the chat in the chat side. It is purely the screen that you can see, not the chat section. So please feel free to ask any questions in there. We will do a Q&A at the end. And obviously other housekeeping, because this is an event like this, you know where your fire exit is, you know where the restrooms are and everything else. But welcome, and I'm really pleased to have you join us today. And seriously, no question is a silly question. Every question is valid, because I may miss something because I know aDoddle inside and out. A quick overview. I'm going to introduce you to aDoddle, show you around and how people can search and how they can use it and the maps that we've got. And then I'm going to go straight, and that will only take a couple of minutes. Then I'm going to go straight in to how you can add your project. I've set up the screens so that each screen is separate, so that if for any reason the internet goes down a bit, I've still got access to everything to be able to show you. And that's the only reason it's being done in that way. So fantastic. Andy, do you want to give us the results of the poll, and then I will share my screen?
Okay, results of the poll was 66% were the projects, sorry, I've gone off the screen, it's Georgia, were for community organisations and project groups. 33% are local authority attendees.
Fantastic, that's absolutely brilliant. Right, I am going to start sharing my screen and go to the right one. And I'm going to say fantastic, hello and welcome to aDoddle. This is the aDoddle.org homepage. Now, aDoddle started a number of years ago when I was a trainer, because I was helping people who'd been out of work long term due to illness and disability to be able to find, rediscover their confidence and self-esteem. And one of the things that I saw time and time again was that had they been able to find local organisations that are, to me, a key part of the social infrastructure within communities, many of them wouldn't have got to crisis point. Now, there is a lot more to that story, but not for today. I don't want to take up your time. So aDoddle was first launched in 2016. It has won awards. It has been named on Digital Leaders 100 list for potential social impact. And we've won some other awards as well, which I'm really proud of, but I won't bore you with that now. aDoddle is about connecting people and communities, and it is people and communities first, but it's helping people to find you and your organisations so that they can either come and offer to volunteer for you, support you if they're a local business, or if there's somebody who needs your help, they can find you, and it's really easy and simple to use. So homepage gives you a lot more information. You can have a look at that as and when you want. Search, you can begin your search in different ways. You can actually just come up straight up here in the header bar and start searching. Or you can come down here to begin your search. You can look at area community maps and recently added projects. Area community maps. We actually have maps. We've got 60 area maps now, of which Woodley and Bredbury are one of them, across the 12 UK regions. So please do take a look. Recently updated. This is projects that have been recently added or recently updated, and at the moment it shows the last 9. But fairly soon we're going to add it so that there are a few more there. But it encourages organisations to update their profiles. People are more likely to find them. Searching. So I've gone on the search page here. You start typing in the area that you're in, and then you choose it and click on it. This is the page that you will come to because I've added no filters, no radius. You can see that some of these pinpoints are green, some are red, and some are orange. That is because we have a unique traffic light system. When a pinpoint is green, it means it's been updated in the last 6 months. If it's amber, it's 6 to 12 months. And if it's red, it's over 12 months. So you can see we've got quite a few red on there at the moment, but we've also got quite a few green and some amber. I'm going to add a radius here. I'm going to say 10-mile radius. And it automatically, without me even having to press enter, brings that down. Now, I don't necessarily want to look at it as a map, but I could. If I click on this one, it tells me a little bit about this organisation. It's called Breathe. It's 9 miles away, tells you about them, and it shows you that they're green. Now, they haven't added a header image yet, so there's not one there. Okay, so let's go to a red one. Here, they've got a header image. Tells you it's red, so the basic information is there. But I might want to see things in a list view. So I'm going to click on the list. And this changes it straight away, and you get local organisations, you get the basic information, and you can scroll down. You can then add filters to your search. So you can change the radius, you can change the area, you can filter it by any of these categories, or you can add a keyword that's important to you and then update it, and it changes that. So searching is really easy, and it is there for everybody. Right, I think I've shown you probably enough about that. One of the great things, it hides the header so it doesn't take up too much space. So you can go back to anything at any stage, but you can hide it if you want to as well. So if you're on a tablet or a mobile phone. So let's go back to the home page. Let's think about adding to the map now. Creating your profile is really easy. You come to aDoddle, come to add to the map. You can either look at a page that tells you the benefits of adding your profile or create your profile now. So what I've done is I've come here. I've already got the page open. And the form is just like filling in a form. There's no complicated text. You create a miniature website of your profile by filling in this form. You start with the basics. What's your project name? What's your mission? What do you do? Do you provide support by food packages? Do you know, what is it you're doing? It's just a short description. What type of project are you? Are you a charity, a not-for-profit, community project, community group? If you're a charity or not-for-profit or CIC, you will be asked what your charity or your company number is. So you fill that in there. If you're a community project, that isn't there. You then select as many of these categories that you feel are right for you and your organisation. So literally click as many as appropriate to you. You then have an option to choose which is your key category. So you might choose that disability is your key one, and that is what creates the little icon that goes on your pinpoint on the map. Okay, you can come back and change that at any time, add more, remove them. You have full control over your profile. Now choose about your services and click as many of them as appropriate. Are they free, low cost, subsidised, charged, donation appreciated? Click as many as you want. Next, thinking about why somebody might be searching for you. Think about these and click again as many as are appropriate. Is that person looking for help? Are they in crisis? Do they want to volunteer? Would you like to connect and share with other organisations? Would you like support from a local business? Is it somebody who's isolated who wants to connect with a local community group? Why are they searching? So again, choose as many as you want. you must add at least one type of contact. So for example, your website or your social media. Now we recommend that you add as many types of contact as you have. People like to check you out before they get in contact. So they might find you on aDoddle, but they might come to you through Facebook because they've taken their time to see if you're an organisation that they want to volunteer for or that they can trust to give them help. You can upload a logo. This is really important if you've got one to do that, because it actually helps to brand your profile. Next, think about your location. Now, for some organisations, you may not want to show exactly where you are. So there's an option here to hide your address. You can also move your pinpoint to anywhere on here. You put it where it is right for you. So if it's not in exactly the right place when you first add it, you just grab hold, so click with the left mouse button, hold the left mouse button down and move the pinpoint and put it wherever is right for you. The next part is your details. Now, these are not public. These are for us so we can keep in contact with you, tell you about updates, remind you to keep your profile updated so it stays green. And we don't get in contact with you unless we really need to, because we think you have enough in your inbox anyway. So first name, last name of the person who's responsible for the profile, email address. And we tell you we'll only contact you when we need to. Password. You can then choose to join our newsletter, which we're just about to start back up again, and we will never give you spam. The newsletter will be about opportunities, funding that we might have found for you, updates that have been done, anything else that is useful, and we're going to grow that newsletter based on feedback that we get. Next is our terms of service. Again, really easy. There is a plain English terms of service here, and then there is the legal jargon here, which we recommend you go and have a look at, but you can see what it covers. You accept the terms and conditions and click this button here. We are now more than halfway through the process. This, when you click this one, will take you here. Now, I did this earlier because last time I did a session like this, when I clicked that button, I had an internet connection problem. It was very embarrassing. So your profile is 64% complete already. Okay, so that's fantastic. To finish off completing your profile, you click this one here. Okay, this will bring you into your dashboard. So this is saying, hi, Oscar. So it recognizes you, your name, you're signed in already. That's there. This first page tells you what parts of your project profile have already been completed and what still needs to be completed. And you have a little circle here which tells you how complete it is. And this will go green when it's 100%. So you can always see which sections you need to do, and you can click on them and they will take you to the relevant page. The essentials you have already done. This is where I was praying that the internet was working. The essentials are already done. So you've already done that in your first bit. But remember, if you change something, always click save. This next bit is probably the most important part of your profile. This is where you get to tell the story of your organisation, and we call it that because we did a huge amount of research on what people within the communities really wanted to know. And they wanted 5 key things. They didn't want to know who your trustees were or necessarily when you were founded. They wanted to know who you help, how you help, the difference you make, the help you need, and how to get in contact. And as I said earlier, the more contact options that you can put, the better. But for some organisations, this profile may act as your own mini website and you can use it like that. So you might just have this profile and social media accounts, and that is fine. So your story. So the first section is think of who you help and why you help. So what's the main overview of your organisation? Okay. The next section is, what do you actually do? What is the help that you actually give? And if somebody's looking for you, what would be the information they needed to know about the services that you provide? Then if somebody's looking to volunteer or wants to help in some way, what help do you need? Now, it might be that you have a volunteer page if you've got a website. I would add a brief description here of the types of opportunities, and then tell people to go to the contact section and click on the link to your volunteer opportunities page, because that way you don't have to keep coming in and updating it every time there's a new role, but you've got the basic information. Then if there's any additional information. So these first 3 sections are a definite. Please do fill something in on each of those, because otherwise it's an empty section and you might get emails from people saying people are looking for that, because there's a little button they can do. Click save every time you add something in there. The location you have already done, but again, if you change where you're based from, you need to change something, you have the ability to come in and change this at any stage. Next is opening hours. Okay, this is where you can say when you're open, and we've got some great options here. And if you think of any that we're missing, please tell us and we will add them. So click to add a day that you're open. So you can choose that you're open every Monday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But it could be the last Monday of every month, or the first Monday of every month, every other month, term time only, school holidays only, except bank holidays, appointment only, or closed. So you can add as much detail. So you do this one and then you add another day and it adds it in there, and you change the days here and you change the times here. So you can choose, and it is as flexible as we've tried to make it as flexible as possible. Again, every element of aDoddle is being built based on feedback and research as to what people wanted. The next one is your contact. Again, this is really simple. You may have just added your website, but come here. You can add another one. So I'm going to put in Instagram. I'm not going to add anything there for a minute, but what you can do is change the order of them. So if you want something to go at the top and change the order, you grab hold of these 3 little dots here, hold your left mouse button down and just drag and then let go. We recommend, if you've got a donation page link, put that at the bottom. We find the most click-throughs come if your donation page link is at the bottom. Okay, very easy. Remember to click save. Media. You can have a gallery. You can add photographs. Please make sure you have permission to add them. Do not add anything that you would not share on your social media or your website yourself. Okay, this is where you can add to the gallery, and this is where your logo is if your logo changes. Now you have the ability to brand your profile, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. So earlier this morning I made an atrocious header image in Canva. So the sizes are here, and we recommend Canva as an easy tool. So I'm just going to go to browse and I'm going to choose that one, and I say it's an atrocious one, it really is. And then I want to change our branding color, because actually this isn't it. So if you've got the color code, you can add it, or if you want to change it to something, you can just drag this around and make it whatever you want, and then click save. And I'm going to show you this and pray that it works, and then I'm going to show you the live profile. So at the moment it doesn't look as though anything's happened, but if I come here, you will see suddenly this doesn't look like an aDoddle page. This is more like you and your organisation. You can make it like that, and you can brand it to yours. So I'm just going to go back and again pray and breathe. Now, some organisations may have their, it may be that you work from a number of different places, but you only want to create one profile because you work in somewhere that's 5 miles away, you work somewhere that's 20 miles away, and you can do that. You can add duplicates here. It is really easy. There's a bit of information here. You can add duplicates, and adding duplicates I'll do a separate video on, but it's a CSV file. You upload it and it will duplicate your original profile and put it in the other areas for you. When you then come and update your main master profile, it updates all of the other ones. You do have the ability to add extra details into each of those areas as well, but it just means you can show the areas that you work in. And then your settings, this is really key. Sometimes it might be if there's illness within your organisation or something like that, that you can't be running. So come in here, click no, please hide my project from the public, or don't put it in the latest updated. For some reason, you might want to choose that. You have full ability. It means you don't have to delete your profile, but I do need to say that if anybody has the link to it, they will still be able to see it. It just hides it from being searchable on the map and being found on the map as a pinpoint. But it does give you that flexibility of being able to do that. So that's it really in a nutshell. So to show you just an example, and please do go and have a look round aDoddle, look at other people's profiles, see what they've done, what you like, what you don't like, and work out how to make the most of yours. And I'm finished. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to come back to questions and answers, and literally please do ask any. Now I'm dyslexic, so I have turned off the chat in my side. So Andy and Dan are going to tell me of any questions, and I can share my screen again if I need to. Please ask questions.
Thanks, Jackie. Yeah, just pop your questions in the chat box, and obviously we'll work through them. One of them you kind of just answered, which was what happens if we have projects in multiple locations. How to that? You've kind of demonstrated that, but
yeah.
So obviously I think there's been talk about being a free service, but what are the ongoing costs or hidden costs behind this particular website?
Right. Okay. There are no charges to you, and we have no plans of ever doing that in the future. We are about people and communities first, and your organisations, as far as we're concerned, are a key part of the social infrastructure within your community. You provide services to people and opportunities to people when they need them the most. And whether that's somebody volunteering for you and that's reducing their isolation and building back their confidence and self-esteem, or whether that's providing actual help and support, you are remarkable. And there was no hub across the UK that brought this information together in a way that was connected. So the beautiful thing about the map that Dan and Startpoint are partnering with us on is you can be in your area in Woodley and Bredbury, but you could have a relative in Scotland or in Cornwall, and you could drag that map and you will get to see the organisations in that part of the country, so that you can find help and support for relatives, friends, whatever it is at the same time. And as far as we're aware, there is no other mapping platform that does that for the charity and community sector, for help and support. And I think you'll all agree that with what's going on in the world at the moment, this has never been more needed. But we may have done the tech and put the infrastructure in there for you, but without you taking the time to add your profiles and share the story of who you help, how you help, the difference you make, the help you need, and how to get in contact, without that, the maps are nothing, they are empty. Now, this is a longer process in a way to have a map like this, because each of you as organisations need to take that time and do that. But actually, if you think about this resource, community mapping is not just for COVID-19. It's a bit like the advert at Christmas that the RSPCA put out about a dog is not just for Christmas, it's for life. Community mapping is for life. This is about connecting people and communities. And partner organisations like Dan at Startpoint, say there were a crisis in your area, we can hand over the control of that homepage so that they could give you the latest updated information, and you've got the community map. So imagine an area that's had flooding, or imagine an area that's had some other disaster or something else is going on. You would know exactly where to come to, because this is your community's community map. It's not about aDoddle. This is about bringing this information to you and your community, and you are a key part of helping us to do that. And we're not going to charge you anything. And that's a long-winded answer. But as you might have been able to tell, I'm a little bit passionate about the fact of if you don't look after people and communities first, you have a bit of a mess.
It was a thorough answer with good work. Okay, couple of good quality questions. So one is, we have an umbrella group with subgroups. Should the subgroups be separate or part of the umbrella group?
Right, I think it's very much up to you as an organisation, and because obviously each profile, from my point of view, each subgroup, put a profile on there for them, help people to find them, because they might have looked through tag words and filters and they might not find it under the main group. But we also are very aware that you may have limited time. Okay, it's that process of adding it to start with, that takes the time. Every 6 months, if you haven't been in and updated it, we will send you an automatic email 2 weeks before and a day before saying you're about to change from green to amber. And, you know, it's a process we put into line. You saw when I showed you that map, there are lots of red ones on there at the moment because we didn't have that process in place to start with. We do now. So you choose how much time you've got, but updating the project is really easy. Go in, have a look. Has anything changed? If it hasn't, what you do need to do is just add an extra space, then click the save button, and that resets the clock for 6 months. But every time you go in and you click save, so if you've been in 3 months ago and you've updated something and you've done it, your clock, your 6 month timer starts again. We reset it every time you click save. So it's not a great big job. Now, somebody talked to me recently about they might have some summer projects and summer groups that they do each school holidays or something like that. Go in, create your profile for it, put it up there, and then come back in when it's finished. So you've got it there in the run up to it. When it's finished, come in, hide it. Okay, so set it to hidden. And then when you're ready to do it again, come in, make the updates, unhide it, and it's back there again for you. And if you see that we're sharing it, because the other thing is, if your profile is green or only just amber, we share your profiles free for nothing through our social media platforms. So say, for example, the end of this month is, and the beginning of April is International Autism Awareness Week. And so we're looking at profiles that cover support for people with autism. And we found some green ones, and we're going to share them, as a featured profile of the week, but we'll also share them through our social media. And when there aren't set days, we still share other profiles. So keep them up to date. Did that answer the question? Because I've forgotten what it was.
For sure, we covered that one. That's a good answer. Okay, good question here. Would you recommend libraries add themselves to this, or is it really for community groups?
No, libraries are incredible. Libraries, you are a hub and a font of amazing knowledge and information, you know, and you have groups where people can come. So you might have a reading hour, or you might have a morning where, you know, I don't know your particular library, but actually the things that you do within the community and, you know, are great. And actually, if you add your profile, let us know that you're on there. And when we've got a little bit of spare funding, we'll get some bookmarks printed up for you and send them to you so that you can put them in there that tells them about the local map, and that people, to help people to find it. So, and if we get a business sponsor, we'll even get you a little banner or something like that. So get in contact, but remind me, because if you don't ask me and remind me, I will forget, because my head is full of all the things that we're doing. So I invite you to ask me and we'll get that done.
Yeah, I think we're coming to the last lot of questions. Any last questions, just pop them in. Someone's talked about, obviously, is it just one person that can administer the profile, and kind of what would happen if, I know, you need to hand your project over to someone or change ownership?
Okay, so I'm really excited about that one, because we've had the, up until now, if you needed to change, up until last Sunday, if you needed to change your profile, you would email me and we'd transfer it over. I'd get permission from the person you told me it was from, and we'd get that done. We now have an automatic system, and I'm going to pray that the internet and everything is still working here, and that my mouse battery hasn't run out, which it keeps telling me. I keep getting a little sign on my screen going, you need to update this. If I come into here, I'm going to go show header. We're in here. So I am now I'm signed in. So the person who originally set up the profile would come in, and they would come here, and they would come down to this option here, transfer ownership. And my mouse button might go very soon, so I'm really praying. So you can then here send an invitation. So you choose the profiles that you've got responsibility for. You put the name of this, the email address for the person that this is going to go to, who's you're offering to. You then choose how many days you want this, because it is a token and it's only live for a number of days. They need to respond. And then you click send invitation. You will then, in your inbox, get a notification that that you've sent the invitation. the person who's got the invitation will get an email that will take them through the process of setting up their account. And once they've set up their account, they will see their invitation in their dashboard. They will then click on that to accept it. Right until the point that the person clicks on that button to say they accept it, the profile is still in your responsibility, and you have the ability to delete that invitation if for some reason you don't want that person anymore, or you sent it to the wrong email address or something like that. You can delete that. But it makes it a really smooth way that as an organisation, you can do that and you can transfer that over. Please do remember, though, that if you signed up, so some organisations don't have organisational emails. So remember, if you signed up when you originally did and said that you wanted the newsletter, you will still get the newsletter because that is on a separate system. And so I just want to warn you, it's not that we're not. And if you want to then unsubscribe from it, do. It's not that we're going to be spamming you with anything. It's just that it's on a different system and we haven't worked out yet how to connect that and remove you from the newsletter at the same time. But hopefully you'll want to know what's going on. So I hope that answers it. And we're really proud of that system. We've only just launched it, as I say, literally a few days ago. So if there are any glitches, let me know. Yeah.
Brilliant. I think we've got a final question. Obviously, any more, let us know. And obviously, if you've got any follow-up stuff, obviously email Jaki directly. I'm sure Jaki will share our email details in a minute. The last one was if everyone who has a partner, everyone effectively has a password, is an admin, is this a problem?
So I think if you as an organisation choose to share the sign-in details with other members of your team, that is your organisation's choice. You know, we can't stop you from doing that, and that might be the best way to do it. And in fact, if you've got an email address that is, you know, your PR and marketing or something like that, and you class it as that, utilise that one and then give the access. I would say that if a team member leaves, please go into your dashboard and change your password. Okay. Now, I think this leads on to another question that we get asked quite a lot of the time is, what is the safety net for the content that is going up onto the profiles? When we very first started the project, we had a lot of input from DLA Piper and Atos, and they said to us to use the eBay model, where the public and the community help to let you know if something's wrong. Well, I'm going to change that slightly, and I think we're a little bit more like the Amazon model, because I've had some bad experiences with eBay where people aren't who they've said they've been and you lose your money and whichever. But with Amazon, there seems to be a bit more of a checkup. Now, in the long run, when there are a lot more profiles, we will rely quite heavily on the community telling us. But at this point in time, every time, and I mean every time, somebody is adding and updating a profile and they click the save button, I get an email. So when I get the last email through from an update or from a profile adding itself, I go into that one and I check it. And I check that the content is there and that it's appropriate. And in the long run, when we have a bigger team, once we have a team who are being paid, we'll do that internally as well. We'll do spot checks on profiles, but we get notifications every time an organisation is updated. It's been pretty good. We have had a couple of people who've tried to add selling sites and things like that, and they are down within sometimes a few minutes, at most a couple of hours. So, yeah. So actually, Dan or Andy, can you think of any questions that you might have?
I had one very quick question.
Go for it.
Once quite a few of our organisations have started populating the community map for Woodley and Bredbury, is it easiest, in your experience, for us to share the direct link to the Woodley and Bredbury map? Or do most organisations that have a map send the aDoddle website and then people navigate through?
I think send the one for your area is good, because you know your community and that's where your community is based. Share that one. I would recommend that you know, I mean, for yourselves, for Start Point, if you want to have the map on your website, we can get, that's the other beauty about what we've done, the way we've developed this. We can give you the code and you can drop the map in your website. We do say, please say to people, you know, if they're looking for something else, please put a link back to aDoddle, because actually, you know, we do everything, we're doing everything for free for everybody at the moment, you know, except a few of our, like the business partners or local authorities or someone who's doing that. We even build bespoke websites for organizations, and then they give us a donation towards doing that, because the more places that people have to access the map, the better. So it might be that you want to drop a map on your website, Dan, and that you then want to share the link to that page on your website. That's cool. That's no problem. But it might be you want to link them to the Woodley and Bredbury page, and that's absolutely fine as well. And there may be times that you want to share aDoddle. We're never going to say no to anybody who wants to share about aDoddle, because remember, you're looking for help and support, it's aDoddle. You're looking for somewhere to volunteer, it's aDoddle. You want to connect with others, it's aDoddle. You want to support a local charity, it's aDoddle. And we must give a shout out to the person who suggested the name for us, and that's Noel Edmonds. Noel Edmonds suggested that we call it aDoddle, and I learned how to do trademarks and kept my mouth shut for a long time. Learned how to do trademarks, and as soon as we got the trademark, made it public, and that's why it's called aDoddle. So yeah, cool. Any other questions there? Cool.
I think David's just put one in the chat box. Sorry, Andy, do you want to read it out?
No pressure. That's actually fine. It's kind of a bit more kind of your area, so you might be able to, between the two of you, be able to answer it. So yeah, I'll be the question master. Is there a possibility of creating a newsletter for our area automatically that we can send out via email or even as a paper copy? I guess it's just promoting the map in your guys' particular area. Over to you two.
Oh, now you see, I think if there was a newsletter and it was for your map and your area, then I would be handing this one over to Dan and go, hey, Dan, if your team's got time, then you are more than welcome to, and, you know, we'll help in whatever ways possible. Before I stop, it's given me a thought of, there's another piece of development that we're doing, which we hope to have in place by the autumn. And that is because there are many people still who may not have access to the internet. And for some of you as groups and organisations, or even social prescribing, the NHS or whatever else, you might have key workers who are going out in the community and want to take information out there. So do you remember when I showed you the page where it said the list view? Well, what we're planning on doing, we've got to still do the tech for it, is, do you know, if you go to Amazon, you can create a number of different wish lists. Well, imagine if as an organisation you can go into your profile and you can create wish lists of things to do with mental health, things to do with activities, things to do with isolation or something like that. And if you were going out to see a client, a member in the community, and you need to take something, you come into your dashboard, you click on that list that you've already set up, and it will create a PDF that you can either email or that you can print out, but it will be up to date in that day. You know, and we'll get some feedback. We want to have some working groups on how it would be best to format that for you. But yeah, that's going to be something that we're doing because it's something we've heard from a lot of organisations. We also have the ability to create hidden maps within organisations if there are things that you want to have, you know, authorised organisations that you can tell people about so your team can see it. We have the ability to do so many different things with the maps. Niche maps. We're doing a food aid one in Plymouth at the moment. We're going to do one with a church to do with their church groups. The opportunities are endless. We are not trying to sell you anything, but if there is something that we can do for you, we will do our best. If it involves a cost, we'll let you know. But where we can do things at a really low cost or nothing, we will. But if you're making money out of it, please don't take the mickey out of us, because we're all volunteers at the moment, and at some stage I'd love to be paid. It'd be really cool.
Well, yeah, can we just pick up on that one as well?
Yeah, Dan, do you want to pick up on that one?
Sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say on the newsletter front, I think it's a good idea, and it's probably something we can do collectively, because a newsletter would probably serve other purposes as well, and can have an aDoddle section on there that says, you know, these are the latest updates on aDoddle, maybe.
Yeah, cool, fantastic. And, you know, we're definitely, and if there's things that you need to know from us, you know, just be in contact.
Cool. On that note, I don't think there's any further questions in here. I'm just going to drop something into the chat. So if you've got any follow-up questions, there's a link to Jaki's email address in the message I've just dropped. I've pre-prepared that well. Or via Dan, I'm sure Dan, you might have Dan's details because Dan publicised this as well. And a few people have asked it, but I'll just reiterate it. This session is being recorded, so you can watch it again or share it with people who you think would be useful to have a look at it. So yeah, I think that's all. So any final questions, ping them over to Jaki or Dan and we'll pick it up from there. So anything else you guys want to kind of wrap up with?
No, thank you for joining us. I'm so grateful. And if you need a hand, then do let us know. We'll see what we can do. Now I have, and I don't know if you're going to be able to do it. For the first time, I've added a document, and I'm hoping that you might be able to see it. There's a files thing, so you might be able to download a file, a PDF on how to add your profile. But actually, I think the video is probably the easiest thing to look at. If you've got any questions, please do ask them. If you're interested in having a map for your area, if you're watching this at a later stage from a different area, then get in contact with us. Our goal is to have 200 maps by July, maybe the end of July. I think it's a big, hairy, audacious goal across the UK. And we want to get to every area across the UK and make this something that is there for every community. Connected communities are empowered and more resilient communities. Let's work on this together. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you all. I'm looking forward to being able to use aDoddle and seeing it populated. And I think it'll be a great community asset for our area to connect people with the services that we're all involved with and to give them opportunities to get involved too, which is what we're all interested in. So yeah, thank you. And we'd love any feedback, I'm sure.
Thank you so much. Take care, and we're going to go now. Okay, take care. And Dan, thank you for joining us this morning. Andy,
thank you for having me.
Take care. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.